We're back here at Bloggapalooza 2006. I'm here with Jason and Jason Pale Horse and Red Horse from Psychobilly Democrat. What's the web? I'm sorry, psychobillydemocrat.com?
Psychobillydem.blogspot.com.
All right, psychobillydem.blogspot.com. Talk about your blog. How long you been blogging? What do you blog about?
We started just past Thanksgiving last year, 2005, and we focus mostly on politics in Ohio, although occasionally we go off into national issues. And that's about the thrust of it.
How did you get started with this?
Well, Jason and I both worked on a race for a friend of ours that ended. It was an off-year race, and after that, the race was successful. We won and really wanted an outlet for Democratic politics. Coming into an off-year election, and it's really the most prevalent way we get out and do it.
Had either of you been blogging before this, or this is kind of a first time?
No, we right after the 2004 election, we actually started something called, ironically enough, Fighting Dem Blues, which was ironic when all these fighting Dems came along in the 2006 cycle. But we never followed up with it. We opened it up, we did a few things for a few weeks, and then we had basically let it die for a year until I erased it and we started Psychobilly. So that was our experience at that point.
What kind of readership do you feel like you get? I mean, do you target towards statewide stuff, or are you really more focused on national? I mean, I know you do both, but is there certain... Every blog seems to have a little different take on what they blog, especially the political blogs. Some like to go a little more on the state issues, talk about everything. Some like to focus just on top of the ticket stuff.
I think a lot of times it depends on what interests us at the time. I live in the 13th district, and so during that primary, with 7 Democrats, I really did a lot of stuff on that. Mm-hmm. We actually did an endorsement of Betty Sutton for what that was worth, but we
did that put her over the top?
What's that?
Did that put her over the top?
I doubt it. I highly doubt it. But we spent a lot of time on it, and we tried to do it, as well as we could. And then, we actually hit doldrums May and June. We really did do a lot. So I started coming back with some of the Lieberman things. So it really just kind of depends on whatever is really starting to turn our engines at that time.
What are you leaning towards coming up in the next couple of months? I mean, how are you going to cover the statewide race? The same? Do you guys blog every day? Do you take turns? I mean, you're the first team I've interviewed today. Everybody else is solo. They do it themselves.
Right. Well, I think being a team, we also have another contributor that is not here today. That I think that's what keeps it fresh. I mean, I think a lot of times people with blogs will either try to just have filler, which there's a lot of great bloggers here, but it's tough to come up and blog every day. Just like it's tough to fill a newspaper every day. And by having us with different interests, different jobs and things we do during the day, that kind of keeps it fresh. As far as what's coming up, I mean, like Jay said, it's kind of been a doldrums time. I mean, after the primaries, like any election, it's just about gearing up. We can report on what monies people are raising. But now it's, as it gets into August, it's really going to start ramping up. As we went to the Senate race, Sherrod Brown DeWine, their commercials are out. It's starting to come out and really starting to fight. So we'll just be covering that.
Writing with the team, going back to the team approach, I mean, do each of you have a focus that you like to write about a little bit more?
No, I don't think there's any focus. I don't think we slot ourselves in that way.
Do you check with each other before you're, like, if you're writing something, do you check and say, hey, look, don't blog this because I'm blogging the same?
Oh, no. And like we do all have different talents. I mean, the funny thing about Psychobilly is we're in Ohio, but the 3 of us that are on there are not from Ohio. We're not original natives to Ohio. And so it kind of does bring a different perspective. I mean, we've been here for a while, and so we know a little bit of it, but we also bring where we came from. And
where are you from?
I'm from Illinois.
I'm from Tennessee.
And the other contributor's from Wisconsin.
And how long have all of you been in Ohio?
We've all been here 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
You've done the Meet the Bloggers interviews before?
Yes.
How many have you done?
Probably 5 or 6.
Any moments stand out from any of those interviews that were particularly interesting for you? Any reason?
The one that I did most recently was John Green from the University of Akron, and I actually worked with Dr. Green for 2 years. So being able to participate with him in that form was a lot of fun for me because he just has such a depth of knowledge that he's able to contribute. It was a lot of fun in that way. Otherwise, Tom Sawyer of MTV, he was trying to debunk at the time Betty Sutton's claim that he was all about special interests and being paid special interest trips and stuff. And he pulled out this bag full of notebooks where he had taken these meticulous notes at all these events, and hey, I was working. And it was brilliant political stagecraft. It didn't do him any good, but it was, at the time, it was brilliant stagecraft.
Had he used that anywhere else?
I don't think he did. George got a great picture of it. Somewhere in George's file of Flickr photos, it's in there.
Any parting words of wisdom? I mean,
It's up to you,
you've enjoyed the blogging experience so far, right?
Yeah, this is, I was looking the other day, and we've been at this for about 9 months, and we've hit, just the other day, 365 posts. And I thought, it's kind of funny. It's almost like one a day. We're not quite to the year, but it's almost one a day. It's really been a very enjoyable experience. And it doesn't matter if you have 2 readers a day, or 200, or 2,000. Personally, I enjoy being able to speak. And sometimes people stop by and they read, and hopefully they gain some insight from my perspective.
Cool. Jason and Jason, Pale Horse and Red Horse from psychobilly.blogspot.com.